So here's where I open it up in the program. I start off by having a 4x4 frame just because the sizing reference for me. Then I press the alphabet, I put in the name, and then right over here is where I change the font. So I will be using a font from Designed by Juju, I believe, which is called Year Without Rain. I just like how it looks. So I adjust the sizing, the spacing, just because the A's seem really far away. So then I save it and move on to the actual machine. Here we are powering on my embroidery machine. I already have the hoop in the hoop, and my USB is already connected to my machine. So here it is doing its normal wake up, and then I press it so that the items on the USB pulls up, and I just search for the name. I did do a different name this time because the last name I had already did. So I select the name. I will go ahead and switch the colors to match what I need it to be. This one is on a red background, so the name will be white. Then I changed the little keyhole opening to a red to match it. So right here is where it'll do the outline. So this button right here is what gives it the outline. So when I press it, it's gonna pop up, and there it is. It automatically puts it on there. So I'll go back over here and switch out the colors because I want it to be the same colors as the vinyl that I'm using. So I go back over here, make sure everything is good, and then I am going to place it on my hoop. So this hoop already has names that I started with on here. So as you see, it started at that red dot. So I'm going to move it down so that the name is under Brandon instead of in the middle of the hoop. So here you'll see me making sure that it's all the way at the top left of the design so that I know it won't go over the previous design. And I make sure it goes straight across, that there's enough space. So here's the vinyl that I'm using. It's just a red color. I cut it about 2 inches wide because this name isn't that big. I make sure everything's there. I always start out with the outline so I know exactly where to place the vinyl. See, that's the outline. So I start there and then I press it. Once the outline is done, I'll go ahead and place the vinyl on top, making sure that the outline is covered up. I'll go back to the name stitching, and then it'll stitch out the entire name. So here we are coming to the end of the name. The next step, what I'm going to do is I have an extra piece of that red vinyl. Actually, I think in this video, I cut the vinyl that's already up there. But what I do is I take a piece of the exact same color vinyl and then I place it on the back. So right here, I'm just making sure that it's long enough that it'll fit on the back. I do flip it over so that the back of the vinyl is touching the back of the name. And then I just line it up, make sure that the original outline is covered up, and then I just press go and watch the machine go. So after the outline is stitched in, what I'm going to do now is cut the extra vinyl around it, just so the final stitch, it'll get the edges of that. So here is just how I cut it. I make sure that it's as close to the line as possible, and then I just go all the way around. As you see, I've cut as close to the original stitch line as possible. So now what I do to the front, I have to do to the back. So now I'm going to cut out the back half of the name. Also, this video is sped up. I do not cut this fast, not even close. Just want to let you know I do cut very slowly and take my time to make sure I get as close as possible. So now the last step is it'll do a satin stitch around the entire outside of it. And here it is, all complete. The satin stitch closes up the edges so that you won't see anything but thread on the edges of the name. And this is what the back looked like. I'm not going to punch this out yet because I still have space to do another name. But here's a previous name that I did. You can see how it's all, everything is covered up on the side. And then I have these little hoops that I put in the hole. First I hole punched the hole out. And this little thing will go in it. And you just twist it closed. So you'll see how there's little still pieces of the stabilizer on there. What I do is just take and fire and just slightly go over it a little bit. It'll get those loose threads and the stabilizer off of it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps you out.